Welcome back, fam. Today is Saturday, April 12th. It's fucking snowing out. Woke up to like half an inch of snow on the ground, which puts a big damper on today's long run and our plans for building the garden. But that's okay. Adapt and overcome. Sitting here at Brady's Power Equipment, where we're gonna get a chainsaw and a rototiller. And probably some other shit. I don't really know. Runs later. 18 miles. Hopefully the precipitation stops at that point. But yeah, catch up with you guys later. Well, that escalated quickly. It is 2:32. The day got away from us a little bit. Let me fill you guys in. So we were at the power equipment store. Dan got his chainsaw. We ended up getting a little, like, 1.5 gallon gas tank for Casey's little Mantis tiller, which will make it much easier to fill up with gas than the big 5-gallon jugs that we have for the mower. Then we went across the street to get pricing on some crushed stone for the garden bed. Well, for the garden beds, I guess, that we're building down at the farm. So we got a quote on that, a loose quote. We got to run final numbers on how much rock we need. Then we went over to Home Depot to get a quote on rental prices for a brush hog for some land clearance at our house, as well as what it would cost to potentially rent versus buy a larger rototiller for this garden project. Just left to Chico's with some food for dinner tonight and tomorrow. Looks like we're doing a double family dinner both nights, which will be nice. And here we are, 2:34. Still haven't run yet. It's still disgusting out. Car's reading 37 degrees. A mist to a light drizzle of rain. Woof. But we got like the world's biggest rosemary bush. 2 of them, actually. Casey ran back in and grabbed that one. So there's a victory on the day. But we're heading back to the house now. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna gather up my pre-run and during run nutrition, as well as Waylon. Gotta grab Waylon. And then he and I are gonna go down to the farm and we're gonna log these 18 damn miles, man. We're gonna get it done, because that's what we do. We get the miles done. We get the workouts done. Never miss a day. Consistency is key. Let's get it. And we're back with Waylon in tow. He's excited. I can't say I'm excited. Kind of miserable weather. These are days where you would much rather skip the run, skip the workout, stay home, be mortal. But these are also the most important days. because days like this are the days that your competition is thinking that. And there's nothing wrong with feeling this way. I admit that I don't want to come out here and run right now. I don't want to go out in this 37-degree weather, raining, and log 18 miles. I'd rather stay home, sit on the couch with Casey, watch a movie, and be comfortable. But this is where the growth occurs. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable. So we're gonna do the damn thing, and we're gonna log the 18 miles. We'll be stronger for it, physically, mentally. Waylon will be tired, so that's always gonna be a plus. Right, buddy? Yeah, he's excited to come along. All right, guys. Quarter of the way through. That was a 4.7 mile loop. Just came back from the car, topped off fluids, grabbed a gel, and now we're back out. Keeping it pretty chill. Heart rate around 135 to 140. And factoring in those rest stops back at the car, as well as obviously the walking up those real steep hills. It's cold, it's raw, it's gross out. Waylon bailed on me, but we're out here logging miles. Because when you want to perform, you gotta either put up or shut up. We're putting up. Let's get going on lap 2. All right, we just got back from lap 2. 9.42 miles in. We are filling up on some more G1M Sport. Still working on the lemon lime. It is still raining, still cold, still raw. Now that I'm out here and not just thinking about doing the workout, but actually out here suffering a little bit, I realize how much I actually fucking love workouts like this, or in conditions like this. Because it makes me think of everyone else who's not out here training, who's taking a day off, and I'm one step past them. Let's fucking get it. 2 more loops. Final loop. Feeling strong, gonna be honest. 14.4 miles in, clipping them along. Legs are holding up, belly's holding up. Right ankle's a little bit sore, but for the most part, done well. Rain is, well, transitioned into a bit of a mist. I said that weird, mist. But listen, can't control the weather, but we can control our effort and our attendance and showing up for the workout. And we're showing up today when others might not have. And that's what it's all about. Checking the box with intention and getting shit done. So I'm gonna finish this loop up and we'll summarize everything at the end of the run. I'll see you guys then. Welcome back. Well, I screwed up. After yesterday's 18-miler, I was supposed to catch up with you guys, give you a little rundown on how the run went. And, well, it's Sunday. We're back in the car. Waylon's with us. And we're going back out to the farm to log today's run. So I think I've talked about it before. Generally, the backbone of my training plan is the weekend back-to-back long runs. That's where a brunt of the mileage comes from. On a weekly basis, that's just the way that training works out for me. That's the way that I like to program my training miles. And that's where I have the most freedom, flexibility, and time to get miles in. So generally speaking, the main long run is done on a Saturday, with the Sunday run being about 50 to 67, so half to 2/3 of the distance of what Saturday was. So yesterday it ended up being 18.3. 18 was scheduled, just the way that the loop distance mapped out, and that was even including chopping off a little bit because I was running a little late for dinner plans. Still ended up going about 3/10 over. So today's plan is somewhere between like 9 to 10 miles. Probably is going to be at a little bit slower pace, definitely slower to start. I feel stiff today, I feel tight. I already went down, did a whole bunch of mobility work. I got a lift in because I had to do my cleans. I didn't do a full pull workout that I would normally have run, but I got the cleans in, which is the staple of that day's movement from a strength standpoint. Felt as expected, slow, a little stiff, but well in control of the weight. Came back home, grabbed some food because I hadn't really eaten breakfast yet, and we are making our way back down to run with Waylon in tow. We'll see if he actually runs with me today. He bailed. Actually, he didn't even bail. He didn't even show up. Well, he showed up. He didn't run at all. So if he knows I'm doing out and back loops, he won't often come with me. He just sort of knows based on the direction that we go in. But if we do a loop based, which is the plan for today, we'll see what the trail looks like. Then he'll typically come with me for at least one of those until he gets bored or is motivated by something else. I got 2 scoops of G1M Sport. I mixed up lemon, lime, and orange. And then I also have a scoop of Momentous Supplements Collagen Peptides. And I previously wasn't a huge fan of supplementing with collagen. The research was sort of limited. However, after listening to a recent podcast review from a trusted source, Dr. Andy Galpin's Perform podcast, he had a guest on, and one of the topics they touched upon with recent research that just came out showed really promising benefits of supplementing with 10 grams of collagen pre-activity, about 30 to 45 minutes before the activity, showed improvements in joint pain. So, given the fact that my main activity right now is running, especially ultra endurance style events where you're on your feet for hours and hours on end, I decided to give this a go. Now that there is research backing that, and this is 3 days into taking it. Research showed more of a 6-month time frame, with results lasting to the end point that they looked at in the study of 9 months. So very early on still. Do not anticipate any sort of benefit whatsoever yet, or at least noticeable benefit, but we are loading it into the system for any benefit that we can get. But that being said, I'm gonna drink this thing up. We're just pulling it to the farm now. I'm gonna go through a little bit of a warm-up to loosen up a bit, because like I said, I am stiff. And we're gonna log some miles, 9 to 10. Significantly better weather conditions today than yesterday. For one, it is 50 degrees out, so I've just got a light base layer, and then this sort of wind shell over top. 0 precipitation, which is nice, because I think I'm still a little waterlogged from yesterday. We were originally planning on tilling up the plot where the garden's going to be. That was the beginning of yesterday's video, but unfortunately we decided to go for a rental instead of just flat out buying one, which is probably the more economical option. But the rental that we had planned for today, unfortunately, is no longer available. It's a really weird system that Home Depot runs. Basically, you put in a request for a rental, and then 4 hours before your rental is when it gets confirmed, but they review stock an hour before that, so really it's a 5-hour buffer. And Casey had put one in for 9 a.m. pickup this morning. That got canceled yesterday, and then as backup she put in one for noon today, and we got notified this morning that that was no longer going to be available, which is a bummer, because today would have been a really good day to get that done. The orange lemon lime is a pretty good flavor combo. I'm not gonna lie. Gonna finish this up. Gonna warm up. Get the legs moving. Get some turnover going. We're gonna log these miles. It's looking like probably gonna be 3 loops. Which will put us somewhere in the ballpark of what I need for today. And that will put us up over 50 miles on the week, 52, something like that. I think we're sitting at 42.5 right now. So, depending how far today goes, that'll bump us over the 50 mile mark. All right, we back. Lap 1 done. A little over 4.5 miles in. Heart rate's holding around 130, 135. Nice, easy. Just churning the legs over, getting the blood pumping, getting nice, solid, foundational aerobic work on tired, sore, stiff muscles. And dual purpose, a little bit of a flush out active recovery from yesterday's effort. So it's a win-win. Looking at numbers on the day though, I'm actually going to cut the run a little short. A little shorter than I originally had planned, because going the extra couple of miles will be a little bit more aggressive of a jump from last week than I would have wanted or would like, especially because this coming week it's another build up. So today is going to be about 7.5-ish on the day, which means this is the last loop. And that will put us right around 50 miles on the week by like 1/10 of a mile. So we cross that 50-mile threshold. You could make the argument for what's 2 more miles, and you could argue that either way. But yesterday's run was the centerpiece. And I've run every day this week without a day off, and typically I require one full day off of running, typically Mondays, so that'll be tomorrow. And I didn't get that because of various scheduling conflicts, so I had to break runs up into a little bit shorter runs and had to disperse those throughout the week. So here we are with just a few miles left on the day. So I'm gonna finish this up. I'll catch back up with you guys at the end. And just like that, we are done with our running for the week. 777s today. 7.77 miles. That's got to be lucky or something. In an hour 17:27 at a cool 9 minutes and 58 seconds minute per mile pace. Averaged 134 beats per minute. Nice way to cap off the training week, the weekend. It's 26 miles on the weekend. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Which I believe that puts us at, I think it's 50 1/4 is what I ended up logging this week. So we have crossed the 50-mile threshold, and I want to go back and look at past training buildups and see what my peak mileage was. I know back in college I had strung together a couple of like 70 to 80 mile weeks back when I was fast. But for some of these ultras, I know I've logged like 40-mile weekends, maybe even a 50-mile weekend, with my longest training run being a 50K, which is about 31 miles. So I want to go back and look at what some of my past mileage has been over the past couple of years leading into events, because I feel like I am off to a stronger start for this event, for the Cut 112, which is good because I've never run that far before, never gone that far. So Waylon and I are gonna head home after he's done scoping out the chickens. Hey mamas. Oh, that coop, that run. Mucky. All that moisture we had yesterday. Fortunately, we're rebuilding that chicken coop. I think Memorial Day weekend. We were planning on knocking the existing structure down and building a new one, a nicer one, a bigger one, with some updated amenities so that our egg-laying honeys can live the high life.